Welcome back to the Joy of Classic Cars. As you can see by the interviews and the B-roll and all the excitement that's going on, with over 300 cars, we have a lot of great cars to choose from. But even though they may have 300, there's always a few that tend to rise to each one's favorites. You know, everyone who's come to this show has a favorite. Well, if I had to pick my favorite for this show this year, it's Ron Turner's beautiful 1955 Oldsmobile. And Ron, you and I go back. We've enjoyed car clubbing for a long time, and it was so wonderful when you came into registration yesterday. I oohed and awed over your beautiful Oldsmobile. So tell our viewers about it, okay?
This is a 55 Olds, two-door sedan. It has 45,000 miles. I found this car through eBay in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It sat in a pole barn for about 35 years with 3 or 4 inches of dust on the hay dust on it, which is what probably protected from the rust. Little old lady, her husband had died, and she parked the car. I'm the third owner. The guy that bought it originally from our second owner bought it from her and said, "Ma'am, I got the word you want to sell that car." She said, "I do." He drove a semi, so he shows up with the semi and says, "I'm ready to pick up the car." She said, "Sonny boy, how in the world are you going to load that car?" He said, "I'll load it, ma'am. Don't you worry about that." So, being the third owner, I had to redo the engine and stop the oil leaks. And we'll have all the factory options that General Motors offers in 55.
Wonderful, Ron. Well, thank you very much. It is a joy knowing you, and it's wonderful to have this in our area as you and your family experience the joy of classic cars.
Very good. Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Hey, you all. I am standing here as we continue on with our trek here at Street Legends by 2 antique vehicles. You may wonder what they are. Well, they are Ames Roadsters. And I'm going to tell you a lot about them in a future episode, because the unique thing about these classic cars, I think this one is I'm not sure, but they were made in the 20s, I think. Let me see over here. It's 1924. Anyway, these cars were produced in Owensboro. So this winter, we're going to go back and we're going to give you more detail about this very unique dimension of automotive history. Well, let's continue on now as we continue with more here at Street Legends here at Diamond Lake. I don't know if any of you remember, but back in the 70s, there was a movie called American Graffiti. It was a film, it was one of my favorites. I think I watched it 5 times because of the 60s and the cars and, of course, the Edsel. But if you remember, Suzanne Summers was the mystery woman who rode around in the T-Bird all the time. And, so people were always looking at who was the woman in the T-Bird. Well, I've been working registration here, and there was a mystery woman driving around in a Mustang and walking around and so forth, and I wanted to find out who this mystery woman was. And guess who she is? She's the woman who made fun of this guy's hood, because you are Mrs. Turner.
Yes, I am. Sherry Turner.
Sherry, where do you work?
I work at the hospital on the rehab unit.
We thought you worked at Apollo for some reason. I don't know why. But Sherry, tell us now, even though hubby has the Oldsmobile, this is your car, isn't it?
This is my car.
Okay, so tell us about your car.
Well, it's a 1965 Mustang. It has a 289 competition engine and 4-barrel Holly carburetor. We picked it up in October. We found it in Bowling Green. I happened to be driving my son to Nashville to a doctor's appointment, and I saw it. I said, I got to have that car. So I told my husband, I said, when you go to the doctor on Thursday, stop by and check out that car. He did. We bought it on Sunday.
How awesome. I wonder how many other wives are out there wishing their husbands would do the same thing.
Probably lots.
You know, actually, I don't. But my previous show, a man was courting this woman. It was featured, and she said she would love to have a Corvette. They'd only been dating 2 weeks. and he found the Corvette and bought it for her.
Oh my goodness.
Some
that's
people get
wonderful.
roses, some people get Corvettes.
That's right.
And you got a Mustang.
I got a Mustang.
Oh, no, but now why? What made this car stand out?
I just like the 65s. I had a Mustang when I was a kid.
All right, that's the
but
key.
this was my favorite
Did mom and dad buy it for you, like when you were graduating from high school or something like that?
when I turned 16.
When you turned 16, yes, it brings back memories,
It sure
does it?
does.
Are they still alive?
Yes, they are.
So, are you having fun with
Oh,
them?
I am.
Because I know I have a daughter. And of course, her first car was a Cavalier. Somehow, I don't think she's going to want one years from now. But still, it's fun reminiscing
That's
and all
right.
that. I bet they've had a lot of fun because it seems
They
like
have.
yesterday when they remembered that you were in high school and you turned 16.
That's right. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. But it's
welcome.
so great to put two and two together to realize. Because I've known Ron for many years,
That's
you
right.
know. And there, but seriously, you were just there. You were everywhere. You seemed every time I turned around, you popped up. So that's why I had to interview for you for the show.
Okay, thank you. I
Well,
appreciate it.
thank you. And also, don't you want to encourage other women out there to experience the joy of classic cars?
Oh, yes, it's fun.
It's a fun hobby. So, women, if you've got your car, tell your man to go pick it up.
That's right.
Thank you all so much. God bless you all. We'll see you later. Well, stay tuned. There's more coming here on this episode of The Joy of Classic Cars.
The Joy of Classic Cars is brought to you by Tap Motors, Downtown Muffler and Brake, S&J Customs Full Service Restorations, Minutes Auto Sales, quality vehicles, great prices.